Hey guys, it's General Wolski. I'm going to do not really a reactions video because I'm not watching it at this moment. I am kind of giving my thoughts on the whole thing. Also, major spoilers ahead for this. It spoils the duel between who wins the duel between the Mountain and the Viper. The Mountain being, I think it's Gregor Clegane, and the Viper being Prince Oberyn of Dorne. So, so I recommend you click off the video if you don't know who wins that duel yet. Okay, you've been warned. So going into this, I had kind of expected Oberyn to win. I thought, well, they just put him in the show, and he seems like a kind of character that Martin likes to write about, and I feel like Martin likes Tyrion too much to kill him off. I don't know. I get that weird feeling. And so I was like, this is a shoo-in. Oberyn's going to win the fight. You know, I had expected Oberyn to win since he was such a popular character of people that read the books, and I had not read the books. Or I read the first two. And I was like, okay, he's probably going to win. There's probably a lot more they can do with the storyline, you know. And then when Tyrion, and I was like, when the episode was going on, they only had like 5 minutes left. I was like, okay, this duel's going to be really short. You better hurry it up so it's not going to be like, you know, just like bleed it out and pathetic. But they had perfect amount of time to do it. They never fail to do that for Game of Thrones to tie everything together nicely. So the duel was started. Tyrion was walked out, and that's when my doubts started to grow. I see Oberyn super confident in himself. Kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I super confident, and didn't really see the Mountain as a threat. Just seemed like justice was going to serve itself. And in Game of Thrones, if you've seen or read the books, you know that justice really that kind of doesn't exist in Game of Thrones, and this episode proved it. And Oberyn as a character, how I liked him. Oberyn really, at first I was excited for him seeing in the trailer, and then they made his character a little awkward for me to like. I finally got over the fact they made him bisexual because it was just really awkward to watch and unnecessary to the show or the storyline. And anyway, so when Tyrion walks out, Oberyn's drinking wine, kissing his what is it, girlfriend, I think, or his concubine. And, you know, he seems, like I said, justice is going to serve itself. And Tyrion's like, could you at least put on a helmet? And you're wearing very light armor. And Oberyn says, I won't need one, or something like that. And then the match begins, and the Mountain's really clumsy, provides mostly his strength, and Oberyn's just running circles around him, literally, and taking strikes at him at every turn. But the Mountain's armor was really strong. Oberyn would stab it and would slide the spear right off, so he had to take really careful, precise attacks. And while he's doing this, he's shouting, "You killed, killed Princess Ilia, you killed her children, you raped her, and then you killed her." And he's repeating that all this time where he's killing the Mountain. And of course, I'm just waiting for him to finally do the killing blow, because at this point, it's just a joke, you know. And again, like I said, I had fully expected. This is one of the things that I really did expect to happen, was Oberyn to win. I didn't see them try, even I don't know if Tyrion's going to die, but it seemed like they were really. It seemed like to me that Tyrion wasn't going to die. That he still had a lot of things he could still do. Leo, hey, dog, hey, no, hey, Leo, no. So I was excited for it. I mean, I wasn't excited for it, but I was kind of waiting for the fight to pan out and finally let Oberyn on top. And he just kept shouting it. And then my doubts started to grow when he started to turn towards the crowd and point at Tywin Lannister, completely ignoring, you know, the Mountain, one of the most feared men in Westeros. And I was like, okay, dude, get it together. You know, I was still expecting Oberyn to win, but I was getting a little worried at this point. And then he finally stabs the Mountain in the chest. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, it's over. And then Oberyn starts saying, you know, oh, you can't die yet. Don't die yet. And he kept circling the Mountain, but this time he stayed within arm's length of him. And I'm just like, Oberyn, back up. And Tyrion's just, you know, rolling his eyes like, Oberyn, get it over with. You know, and then at this point I was like, oh God, is this actually going to happen? And so I was like, oh God, he's showboating. I've seen pro wrestling so many times, and I know how this always ends, you know. And so Oberyn gets knocked over, and just his teeth, he gets punched, all his teeth fall out. And as soon as I saw the blood spurting from his mouth, I was like, yep, this is Game of Thrones. I was reminded again that there is no justice in Game of Thrones. And they killed him in the worst way possible. Like that, Robb was my favorite character in Game of Thrones up until the Red Wedding. And, well, I mean, he still kind of is my favorite character in the show. Or is my favorite character from the show. It's probably a better terminology. And his death was just horrible. I was like, God dang, that's horrible. How could you make a worse death? And Oberyn's death was horrible. Like, I didn't really like Oberyn particularly. I just like I was indifferent on him, and I was leaning towards liking him, but I was mostly indifferent on him. But wow, did that scar me, and did I feel sorry for him when the Mountain started to, repeat his words and say back, I raped your sister, I killed her children, and then I killed her like this, and just popped Oberyn's head open. God dang, that death was gruesome, and it's just George R. R. Martin, a brilliant writer. It never fails to shock me, and I was worried that Game of Thrones wouldn't shock me like the Red Wedding, but it just did. So wow, Game of Thrones, I tip my hat to you, and wow, I walked around for a good 15 minutes just circling around my room, just going, oh my God, trying to take in what the gruesome things that I just saw. And oh, that was horrible. I was like, part of me wanted to watch it again. I don't know why. And I started watching it again, and I got to the point where he knocked the Mountain over, and I was like, no, I can't do it. So I clicked off the video. I'll probably watch it again, but not for some time. Wow, that was rough. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd appreciate it if you kept from spoiling things. Even though I know there probably are going to be spoilers, but for the people and me, I guess, that haven't seen past that episode or have read the books, I'd appreciate it if you guys would keep your spoiling to a minimum, and hopefully to none at all. So thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to check out if you're new to this channel, check out my Game of Thrones Let's Plays for Crusader Kings 2. It's a really interesting game and a really cool game if you're a fan of the series. Hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.